As we get into our teen years and early adulthood, we take on a lot of responsibilities, some being chores, driving, doing homework, and getting a new job, or getting our first job. One of the things we have to learn with trial and error is saving money. When we start to have our own money coming in, we probably want to go out and buy everything we've always wanted and accidentally go on big shopping sprees. Or maybe that's just me. Today, I'll be teaching you how to save and manage your money. First, we'll deposit into tips on saving money. Then, we'll manage into how to start a budget. And finally, we'll transfer into the benefits of saving money. Going into tips, the first one is separating wants from needs. A want is something you very well may be able to afford, but don't necessarily need to get by. If some of these needs are just too much of a necessity, try to trade them out for a better deal. For example, instead of spending $6 on coffee every morning, try making it at home instead to save. Next, the next tip is to try making saving a regular habit. For example, saving as little as 50 cents a day can get you halfway to an emergency fund. The last tip I have is to try to calculate big purchases by work hours. Basically, before making a big purchase, you want to divide it by how much you make an hour. An example of this is, say you want to buy a $100 pair of shoes and you make $10 an hour. Before buying them, you'll want to think to yourself and ask, is 10 hours really worth these pair of shoes? Sometimes they may be, but the right answer is that they probably aren't. Next, I'll go into how to create your own budget. Your first step is to note your income. This is how much you'll be taking home from your paycheck with all taxes and deductions taken out. This is separate from your gross pay. Next, you're going to want to track your spending. When using a card, this may be easier to calculate, but if you're using cash, you want to collect all your receipts and see how much you're making, or see how much you're spending at the end of each month. Step 3 is to set goals, whether this is short-term or long-term. Next is to make a budget plan. One of the most common budget plans to use is the 50, 30, and 20 rule. This is when you split your paycheck into 3 separate parts. 50% should go towards necessities, such as gas, groceries, and monthly bills. Then, 30% will go towards your personal spendings, such as entertainment, shopping, or just your regular hobbies. Then, your last 20% should go towards savings and debt, whether it's a college savings or getting a new car. Number 5 includes adjusting your habits. Now, the 50, 20, and 30 rule may not work for everyone, so you may have to adjust as needed. And number 6, once you've found what budget plan works for you, you're going to want to make sure to check in and stick to it so you don't overspend what you have. Lastly, we're going to go into benefits. According to homemagazine.com, one of the benefits of saving money is that it helps in emergencies. Usually when we have emergencies, they cost more than the regular budget, so you don't want to try. And having an emergency fund will keep you from trying to obtain money in a short amount of time. Some examples of these may include a car accident or a sudden illness or injury. The next benefit includes sudden job loss. When either quitting or changing jobs, you're most likely going to need money in between for the time you're not working. The last benefit includes financial freedom. Financial freedom will relieve stress off of our shoulders and allow us to live how we want. We can spend freely without having to worry about living paycheck to paycheck. If you haven't already started a budget plan, you may want to start now. Some of the things we went over is tips on saving money, how to budget, and the benefits of saving. I hope this is something that you take into account because it's a responsibility that we all need to have when we get older, or now. Thank you.